approves pay rise for workers as labor leaders lament hardship. This was done yesterday. The increase is between 25 and 35% for civil servants on the remaining 6 consolidated salary structures. You'd also remember the situation in Edo State, where the governor, had the increase to 70,000, and there were talks about, well, are you paying this, and not just saying it. And some even went on to say, well, elections are coming, and this is what we get. But I mean, this is it. We're all expecting CNG buses because we know that those buses were supposed to be unveiled in the month of May. So let's wait and see what the federal government is doing about that. Another headline here says, Southeast Governors Forum is not functioning. Residents of the region. Northern governors talk tough on kidnapping out of school children. And this one here says, Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway. Federal government's actions deepening poverty, hunger. Peter Obi. That's another one on the Vanguard newspaper. If you go over to the Punch, you touch a few of them here. Workers' Day. Labor laments rising food prices. Petrol crisis. Workers' Day. Labor laments rising food prices. Fuel crisis. Dangote Refinery gets valid operating license soon. Federal government. So what license have they been operating with? Because they're already churning out diesel and are planning to do churn out petrol. So with which license have they been operating and doing those functions? Well, if you want to find out the details, then you get on to the Punch newspaper. Dangote Refinery gets valid operating license soon. Interpol pursues extradition of Binance chief from Kenya. Okay, that's another interesting headline. List. Nigerian passport ranked among worst globally. Nigerian passport ranked among worst globally. 16 months into my tenure, Osun State yet to take a single loan. Adeleke. That's also on the Punch newspaper this morning. And you'd also find this: federal government raises salaries of military, police, others. Federal government raises salaries of military, the police, others. Some of the few headlines you would see there on the Punch newspaper. Quickly, some of your comments. Facebook, Samuel the Psalmist. Senators are lucky to have seats and they are fighting about sitting arrangement. It's a very big shame. I did not aware that children in schools sit on floors. Fidelis Elemoa says increment of worker salaries is good development. Roundface says, I want to say a big thank you to Samuel Wenasike for revealing those people from Alu behind insecurity, land grabbing. Christian Williams, it is laughable to see senators fighting over sitting arrangements. And Anobi Casey says, are they not supposed to be a formal way of sitting in the assembly? Thank God Ability says, federal government approves salary raise for civil servants. Would they also approve minimum wage? Bakel Menegbo says civil servants should rejoice not for it is an increment that will be watered down by rising taxes and inflation. Okay, not for an increment that will be watered down. Skillful Piro says father son rescued as army distressed Taraba terrorist camp. Nice one. Nigerian passport rank among the worst globally. I'm not surprised at that. Understandably, if you're not surprised, but we should do something about it. Lorenzo Delight says killing in rulemaking should be thoroughly investigated. Rivers State government should help family of dead officer. Pay rise for workers' salary is a good one. They deserve better treatment. And today's your birthday. Oh, Lorenzo Delight. Okay, happy birthday to you. Quickly, to react to something, the issue of the police officer that lost his life. Many other police officers have lost their lives too. Beyond always saying the government should help the family, doesn't the police have a plan for for officers? Is it that shouldn't there be some sort of maybe life insurance scheme or pension or something that officers would know they are living for their families in the case of any unfortunate incident like this one? if we're going to get it right, it's beyond just every time the government, the family. A structure should be in place. So government or no government, governor or no governor, president or no president, there's a system in place that would cater for these needs time and time, effortlessly, seamlessly. The person would not have to go through stress to access the funds when they have to. So I'm asking because I'm not sure how effective it is if we even have it. And most of the times, the fact that we always go this route of asking, for donations and monies from government to then begins to make you wonder whether the police force doesn't make these provisions for the officers, and not just for the police, even for all the security personnel, because the work that they do, you can go out one day and you don't come back. That's it. They pay the ultimate price. And so you don't just imagine that things as simple as this: scholarship for the kids, health care for their families. These things should be, maybe I'm saying what's not making sense. I don't know. Let's go to the phone lines. Ogo John Justice says it's disheartening that the police are swift to be seeking for compensation instead of putting an end to the killing of their members. That's also another thing to talk about. But rather than compensation, have a plan now. Let something be put together for police officers. It's not easy. Look at the rising cost of living. Look at how much are they being paid. They don't even have the tools to do the work. You have all these things that are problems for police officers first, and then you now send them to the road under the sun. So you would also see their own angle and where they are coming from. Now imagine these officers are standing on the road, now see this one that died, and how the family see that nothing there for them, no arrangement, no nothing. What motivation would these ones that are working now use to work? It's going to be almost a thing of use what you have and find the way you can settle your life, because these people don't care about you. That's the message you are sending, knowingly or unknowingly. So I think the police should do more. If the commissioner of police, anybody who's listening, the IG, more should be done with regards to the welfare of not just the officers, their families, that in the case of this kind of eventuality that they will leave behind. A trust fund, something. Robin is in a chair. We'll start with you. The numbers to call are 0817 923 0002. You can also call 0817 923 0003 or 0817 923 0007. Robin is in a chair. Quickly, straight to the point. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, my brother. It's Andrew.
You're welcome.
May the soul of the departed police officer rest with the Lord.
Amen.
Having said so, yes, the federal government has made it public that the salaries of Nigerian police officers and other security agencies have been increased. Right?
Yes.
Can the police, Nigerian police, now respect themselves and stop giving change in the front of their police station as provided by their DPOs? Police is a dignified job. But every day they are enmeshed with all manner of shenanigans. Their dressing, their candor, attitude, mannerism, can they change now because their salary has been increased? Having said so, federal government has given free ride from Port Harcourt to Aba by train. Can those who live or who are in the part of the world, south, east, can they protect that critical infrastructure, which provides very easy and safe means of transportation? This is my view. Congratulations to workers.
All right, Ida from Nkora, good morning.
Andrew, good morning.
Welcome.
Happy new month to you.
Happy new month.
I want to talk about the list. Any list that is circulating in River State belongs to His Excellency the Golden Governor of River State, who is the leader of PD in River State. Every other list is fake, my brother. But the governor is the leader of PDP. And I want to plead with everybody who is fighting the governor to please keep their thought to one side, to support the governor with their strength. That this governor that God gives to us can take River State to the promised land. And remember, as I'm talking to you, project is booming in River State. Investors are trooping in. With this fight they are fighting, investors will not come. All of us are from River State. We should please leave this fight and support the governor. God, the former governor, everybody come out to support him. Please, people of Opunkoro come out to support him. This is what God gives to us, God gives to River people. They should stop fighting impeachment, all those kind of things. They should stop it and support this governor. Please. Thank you very much. God bless. I remain on the
Leighton Barry from Bori, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Ifeami Andrew.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, let me look at where FG, federal government, approved pay rights for workers. And NLC also consider 500,000 for workers. Ifeami, you could remember some times ago when this NLC also came up with the idea of 1 million naira per worker. And I make several comments as regard to that it is a failure on their side because what they are just doing is fallacy. And I want to ask a question, Ifeami. If you have a product selling and a customer comes, you tell the person the price, I think the person will have to offer his own first before you finally give him the price you are going to sell that product. NLC started with the amount of 1 million naira. And the federal government has not negotiated with them. Where did they sit before they come back to this 500,000 they are coming up with now? I told you that very day that you could imagine that this 1 million they are talking about, that they will step down to even 50,000 naira. I said it that day, you were like arguing with me. You can see now they are coming up with 500,000 without federal government on a negotiating table with them, saying either they will pay 1 kobo or 5 kobo. But they have started reducing the amount to this level. You can see that. And that is why you see the problem NLC is creating for workers, because they are neither here nor there. And the workers are fed up with them because of their attitude. These are political rates they've been putting on and not being sincere to workers. Lastly, the petrol and the gas high complained by residents of River State. You can see the heat front and back, and they are blaming, marketers are blaming NNPC, NNPC is blaming marketers. This is the wayo, the frame they just put in this whole thing.
All right, Leighton Barry.
They don't want the survival of.
Let's go to Omudioga. Justice, good morning.
My friend Andrew, good morning. Happy new month.
Happy new month.
And happy Workers' Day.
All right.
Andrew, federal government, it is good to hear that the train operation is yet to resume. And the federal government has also declared 4 days for free train rides. It is a good one. We are making progress. But Andrew, let me remind us of what happened on the 28th of March, 2022, where train passengers were attacked in Kaduna State. Andrew, that day was a very tragic day in this country. People were kidnapped into the bush. Train was damaged, and over 8 people died. Andrew, now that we are about to resume train operation in this country, what effort has the federal government made to ensure that what happened in 2022 doesn't happen again? Is the train rail track now protected? Is the train going to be secured? Is train going? Are they going to be escorted with security? What is the effort that the federal government has made to ensure this thing doesn't happen again? It is not just to resume train operation is fine, but let us ensure that we do not put the life of train passengers at stake. This is my concern. I want to say a very big congratulations to workers all over the country, workers in River State, workers in neighborhood local government, and workers in my community, Omudioga.
Thank you.
I have good news for you. Andrew.
Yes, Justice.
I have good news for you. Severally, we have cried of the 4 states of Omudioga Health Center. River State government did not come to our aid. Neighborhood local government did not come to our aid. But Herbert Wigwe Foundation is currently innovating Omudioga Health Center.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Temple, Igbo, good morning.
Good morning, the very distinguished and
fine, thank you.
Thank you. As a worker, happy Workers' Day, and to the workers, all the workers in Nigeria. I think I would say it's indeed a welcome development in regard to the pay rise to the workers. I think also for those of them who see their work as serious one and have paid much commitment to their work, I think in one way or the other, it will also help in boosting their morale, at least to give more. They say who much is given, more is expected. And at the same time, I also want to appeal to the River State Development under His Excellency Sir Timothy Fubara, the Executive Governor of River State, to come to the family of this police officer. At least Nothing is too small. Nothing is too big. But to put on the effect of what is the family is going through at this time, then as small amount will bring back the dead. But at least you tell me, Andrew, since I had that woman was a breadwinner. That man was a breadwinner. It's indeed a start development now, but indeed the government accountants must do the needful in coming to their aid. It's as simple as ABCD. They say what is good to the other is good, they complete the rest.
All right, let's go back to Uche now. Uche is on the line. Thank you, Temple. Let's go to Uche Ken. Good morning.
Yeah, Andrew, good morning.
You're welcome.
Happy Workers' Day, even if you are not observing it.
Wish you the same.
The federal government announced 25% to 35% minimum wage. Anyway, I can say that there is a little progress recorded so far, and if it will be implemented, that is when we call it success. One thing is to make pronouncements, another thing is to implement it. I am also expecting Mr. President on his speech today to hit on the refinery and way to achieving its functions without delay. Then the widow to the late policeman, I believe police, Andrew, you have said it all. Police should have something mapped out for the family of their workers. What is Police Service Commission doing? Police work is something you will go out in the morning without believing unless God comes through, believing that you will come back alive. So far you are protecting lives and property. Armed robbers, attackers from here and there must come after you. So when they die on the course of service, I believe there shouldn't be a route to begging government, begging individuals to sustain the family they left behind. They should do something about this thing. Then finally, the counter press release this morning by some persons from Mungo Ward 1, refuting the suspension of Awaji Abiante. Andrew, we are all aware that two lists emanated in River State regarding to PDP ESCO's list. The first one was the one His Excellency called concocted list that will not stand. The second one was re-amended. Then the PDP National Working Committee were asked to do something about it, which they came to River State. And what did they do by their press release? They said court has restricted them from tampering with the amended list. And those who defeated the thing today were in the first list. And those who suspended Abiante was in the amended list. So which one is the authentic one? At our level, we shouldn't be confused and allow people to confuse us. I believe those that came up with press release today are not the caretaker committee members. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Okwandu Niriebe, good morning.
Good morning to you, Ifemi Andrew.
You're welcome.
You see, I am not happy this morning that the federal government is coming to the media to tell us that they have increased the salary of some workers by 25 and 30%. I think that this is not newsworthy. What is the percentage increase in the prices of fuel? What is the percentage increase in the pint of garri, a pint of rice and a cup of rice and other things? This only amounts to insensitivity of the government, because the people are suffering only 25 and 30% increase to a section of the workers, and you are coming to the media to announce it. I think this is high time the federal government or the government in Nigeria and Africa understand what leadership is all about. It's not every time coming to the media to tell us that you have done this. Why the positive things, why the negative ones that you have done are plenty and in abundance. This is not a welcome development, my brother. Thank you and God bless you.
Okwandu, thank you very much. Some more messages. If you look on Facebook, Nunobi Casey says, rowdy session in Senate over sitting arrangement. Are they not supposed to be a formal way of reporting such an incident without disrupting ongoing plenary? Lawmakers don't know the law. Umma says workers have been in a state of grief and despair because of the despicable exploitation of their labor and sweat by their employers. financial future of workers is unpredictable, and much is not done to raise the standards of living of these hardworking citizens. Jeffet Ibekwe says this is not another political witch hunt. Hope this is not another political witch hunt from Samuel Wanosike. Exactly what he did in Abuja. I think you should allow the police do their work. Tango Ability says, help me tell construction companies to stop holding rain from falling or heat one finishers for River State. Brother, like that's the popular notion. I think it's a folklore. That's what it's becoming now, because everybody have these stories, and whenever there's construction work, you have people that have this opinion about it. Well, beyond that, there are scientific reasons for it, and I think you'd want to go with that first. The environmental reasons, because there have been predictions about this, so it would be absurd to want to blame construction companies. They've been NIMET had given predictions and said this is what we should be expecting. So take water with you, drink a lot of water, have water with you most of the time, so you do not suffer heat stroke or excess dehydration. If we look at more messages, Larry Spieth says, since our senators have refused to do things right, they will keep getting confused over everything they do. On WhatsApp now, Salmon Solomon says, Solomon, this message is extremely long, but I'll do the best I can. My take on security personnel: the federal government have announced the increment of police, army, salary, etc. But my question is, how much is it? That's the fundamental part. What is the increase in relationship to the reality of, their standard of living in Nigeria? My brother, it's time the federal government pays security forces 400,000 and then other benefits. And I think that's ideal. The same way lawmakers have sitting allowance, this allowance, that allowance, even if they mostly would not agree to it. Police officers should have allowances like this. Like several allowances. Security, not just the police, or the army, the police, and some other security personnel should have these allowances. I mean, it should be, I don't know, but it's just painful when you look at how, have you gone to the police barracks or the army barracks and look at where the officers are staying? I'm not talking of the Ogazo. Just go and look at the offices where they stay and where their families stay, and look at the environment, and look at, and then you would ask, okay, is it that we don't have the funds to make this place comfortable enough for these people to stay? This one on WhatsApp from Thank God in Port Harcourt says, Labour's demand is unrealistic. They should let them be serious for one. Ace says, now the police are gradually reaping what they sow. No, that doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever. The upward review of salary structure, especially security agencies, is long overdue considering the nature of their job. Somebody says, how much increase? I want to ask, if I have a benefactor that saw me through school, then he told me to go and steal, kill, or match innocent people, so I should throw away my principal's integrity and goodness, my personal integrity and goodness to please my godfather? The answer is no. Neki sent that one. Good morning, Ifeami. Pay rise for workers' salaries will not reduce price of commodities in the market. Price control and fixing of our refineries would be the best solution. Jumbo Biobele sent that one in. Onoha Kinsley says, how can ordinary sitting arrangement cause problem among senators? These people don't have any sympathy. God is watching. If you go further, we'll look at what Fine Face says, the rumor suspension of a member representing Anthony Opobo federal constituency in the House of Reps, Honorable Abiante, is a futile attempt to turn the law on its head, whereas those who carried out the action don't have local standing to do so, having been said to be in acting capacity. And then Nwoko Kara Victor says, okay, we'll continue with your message after this short commercial. We'll also be taking your comments on X. So if you haven't joined us on X, it is Nigeria Info PH. Stay with us.
Nigeria Info. Right back after this.
Eze Ikebidi returns victorious.